everybody, so I'm going to demonstrate how to fold a paper crane. So you want to start with a piece of paper that is square. If you don't know how to make a square, if you start with a triangle that has a right angle in it on this corner here, then if you cut along the edges, you should be able to have a square. And you can double check by opening the paper back up again and folding the other way and making sure that it aligns at a right angle on this side as well. So we have our square piece of paper. First you want to decide which side you want to be the outside. So I obviously really like this teal color. I want that to be the color of the crane that I make. So I will make my first fold with that color on the outside. Your first fold is just to fold it in half diagonally so you get a right triangle, just like this. I don't tend to make my creases very firm, as we're going to be going over a lot of these folds, and this paper is thin enough you don't really need a super sharp fold anyway. Step number 2, do the exact same thing. I'm going to make a smaller right angled triangle, just like this. Now you have one that has a little V-shape opening, just like this. Next, what we want to do is take on the inside of one of these flaps, like here, put your finger all the way into the little corner there, just like that, and then you're going to pinch it down, and I like to hold it at the corners and crease starting from the corner so that I get a nice tight flat piece of paper here, and just pinch it so that we have a square on the other side of what used to be our triangle. Now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over and we're going to stick this little flap completely upright. So you have a square base and a pennant right in the middle. Now we're going to do just like we did before. You can kind of go back to the corner there, and you're just going to, I like to hold it at the bottom here, and then just kind of pinch it closed until you get another square right on top of the last one that you made. So now you have 2 squares, kind of makes a W now instead of a V, but 2 squares. Now pick whichever side you want to start on, and what you're going to do, you're going to open that back up again just like you had it before, and our goal now is to get this outside edge to align with this inner line, bisecting it. So in order to do that, I like to start at these corners here and just kind of fold it gently. I'm not making any creases, just kind of gently fold it over until it's roughly half where it's going to be. And I keep pressure down at the bottom here, starting at the corner, and you can just sort of press, pinch your way up. Now, obviously I'm only about halfway done. I still have to do this top line, but you can already see that it's pretty much aligning with the middle there. So we can repeat that. I like to keep stability down here. Starting at the top, you pinch the top here, all the way down, until that looks like it'll pretty much go in the middle. Now, before I lay anything flat, I like to get both sides. So again, pinching, just kind of pushing it in towards the middle very gently, and just kind of rolling the paper over until I get down at the bottom here, until this starts to align. Then you just kind of pinch it at the bottom and gently press your finger up to that initial fold that you made. And then going back to the top, starting from the top corner there, you see I just kind of folded that over just a little bit. And then let's finish that crease all the way down. Now this is a part where a lot of people can find it difficult. Ultimately, what you want to do here now is get this line to be completely flat going this way. I find that the best way to do that is to come behind the shape you just had and pinch it down until you align with these corners here, like this. And then it's a lot easier to just take this corner and hold the bottom corner and just kind of pull it like this, nice and straight. And then you can gradually kind of work your way, getting some back tension here, get it to be nice and flat. Now I go ahead and reinforce those folds that I made, getting nice, crisp, clean folds. There, just like that. Now we want to do it exactly the same on the other side. So separate it out. It might be kind of predetermined now that you've already made folds on the other side, but I like to start out nice and open, no predetermined folds here. Again, just starting from this outer corner here, just kind of gently fold it over and work my way down to the base, keeping a nice indentation line going with my other thumb here, my left thumb. Now I can hold the corner base here and gently fold it until I get the top corner to lie flat as well. Just kind of pinching along, not making serious folds. Again, switch hands. You can now do it on the other side just like you did. Getting that nice starting fold. Going in the corner, starting from there, bringing it up. And again from the top, get this edge right just there. And now you can start to see where I'm going with this. Again, we have no predetermined fold on the back there, so what we have to do is, again, place your fingers along there and gently start to push that piece of paper backwards so you can see where this fold is going to be now. It's a lot easier now to take both corners, top and bottom, and just kind of gently pull on it, get some tension, apply some back pressure with your fingers here so you can get the whole thing to just kind of lie flat. Now we'll want to reinforce these folds, so I like to start the areas that need it most and then work outward from there, like that. One side, top and bottom, the other side, bottom and top. Okay, great. So now we have this diamond shape that looks pretty much identical, but you actually have two little legs on one end. These will be the head and the tail for the crane, but they're a little thick as it is, so what you want to do is do a miniature version of the fold that you just did, where you take this outer edge and this outer edge on these little legs for both sides, because you see you have fold here, so you have two different sides. You're going to take this outer edge and you're going to fold it into the middle. Now what people try to do is keep it aligned with this midpoint here, but that's not really what you need to do, because you will, as you see, go taller than that midpoint on your fold. So the important line to keep in mind is the midpoint line, taking this outside edge and just kind of folding it over, making a little pocket, and then gently press until I get to the bottom, and then I can start to reinforce that fold again once I know it's all lined up properly, just like that. So now you can see we've done it on one side. I'm going to flip it over, go to the other side, and again you're just taking this outside edge, gently folding it until you have it just aligned properly. Starting at the bottom, reinforce those folds now. The other edge, we can push in like that. Now I've obviously done this a lot, so sometimes my folding might be a little bit faster than what yours is, but don't worry, you can always pause and re-watch if you want. Now the last step. Okay, so we have these two little leggies. These are, like I said, going to be the head and the tail, and the way to get them to be a head and a tail is to fold them up into this little divot that we've got here. Now the easiest way that I've found to do it is to just put one of your fingers in that little divot, roughly where you think it's going to go, you know, kind of along where this fold ended up. And you're going to firmly grasp it in the middle of the head or the tail, whatever it ends up being. You're just going to kind of make a space for it in here and then push it up. Now, it's rarely going to turn out to be just the shape that you want. If you want it to be a little bit more even, you'll have to fine-tune where exactly that opening goes. But once you get it pretty even, you can just kind of push it upward and then pinch it closed to really get it nice and firmly in there. Now on the other side, you can see we're just kind of opening this up, getting a grasp. There's no predetermined folds here, so if you just kind of start to apply upward pressure, you'll automatically get this dividing line. You can then use that to reinforce where you're going. And now you can have a little bit of play with this. If you want them to be super up high, like this, you can go for that. If you want it to be a little bit lower down, then you don't make the fold quite as intense maybe. So you've got some angle to play with here. I like to keep mine kind of right in the middle so that each side is coming out at roughly the same angle. Now you say, which end is the head and which end is the tail? Honestly, I always choose the one that kind of looks a little bit worse. So you can see in the corners here, I didn't get this quite as crisp and clean on this side as I did on the other one. So in order to kind of hide some of that poor folding that I did, I do just a little bend down, and then if you want to get secure about it, you just pinch the head like that. Now you can open up the wings if you want. You can leave them closed if you want. You could even open up the wings and then kind of squish down this middle part so you've got more of a back to your crane. But that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching.